Do you guys want to know why I love what I do so much? I love it so much because I continue to need my own services over and over and over again. So I think that there is this kind of common misconception when people are going through a healing journey or really trying to find their answers, that once they find all their answers, that they're going to be 100% well all the time. Now, are you going to be so much better and most of your life is going to be very healthy and joyful? Yes, absolutely. But there are going to be seasons. There's going to be seasons of more stress, of hormone fluctuations, after injuries, accidents, those types of things, where your body is going to respond again. Now, the very cool thing about living the holistic, the wellness way lifestyle is that when those things happen, now you know what to do. Now you know to retest, now you know to look deeper, so that what might have taken you years of struggle before can be corrected in maybe a few weeks this time because you know where to look. So that's exactly the story that I have with my thyroid. Is if you've watched some of my other videos, I won't go into my full story, but I've had hormone problems and immune system problems pretty much my whole life. And I got really sick after the birth of my son, who's now 6. That was really my story to why I do what I do now. So I took the next several years. I got so healthy. I can honestly say when I got pregnant with my daughter, Nova, that I was in my best health. I felt amazing. My labs were great. Everything was going really well. My pregnancy was amazing. Birth was perfect. But then a couple weeks after, I was about probably 6 or 8 weeks postpartum, I started noticing things again that weren't typical for me prior to that. So I was starting to get some anxiety. I was feeling anxious about things I really didn't need to worry about. I was not sleeping well. My energy was tanking again. And last time around with my son, I would have told myself, you know, you're a new mom, you're tired, this is normal. But this time I knew better. I knew not to make excuses, and I knew that the one thing I needed to do was get my testing done again and see what was off. Because pregnancy, hormone fluctuations, ladies, that's what's hard on your body, okay? You're not supposed to be perfect right after, but you are supposed to know where to look. So I redid my thyroid labs, which have been perfect for years. So let me share those with you, what my thyroid labs looked like. Okay, so this is about 8 weeks postpartum. This is my thyroid lab. Now let me walk you through the thought process on this, because if I was the average person who was having these symptoms postpartum and I went to a medical doctor, they would have tested my TSH and my T4, and they would have told me they're perfect. Your thyroid is working great. You have nothing to worry about. It's not your thyroid. You're a new mom with anxiety. Here's some anti-anxiety medications. Go home, rest, try and sleep when the baby sleeps, right? Like that's the answer I probably would have gotten because they wouldn't have looked any further. So going through this, if you look at my labs, my T4 free, perfect. My T4 total, in my opinion, too low, borderline low, but they would have said it was totally fine. My thyroglobulin and antithyroglobulin antibodies look good. My TPO antibodies are normal, so I'm not having any Hashimoto's flares. Thyroglobulin, which is the inflammation inside the thyroid, is really low. That looks great. My TSH is perfect. I mean, textbook perfect. Between 1 and 2, they would have said you are the picture of thyroid health. Nothing's wrong. But then there's that free T3. My free T3 is low. And if they wouldn't have checked that, I would have had no idea, and I would have been told it wasn't my thyroid. So this is a classic conversion problem. This is low T3 syndrome. Now, if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you know that T4 is just a storage hormone. T4 needs to be converted to T3, which is the active hormone, to give you all the things you want from your thyroid. The energy, the healthy digestion, the good mood, all of those things come when you have adequate amounts of T3. Now, one of the biggest problems with thyroid medication, like Synthroid and levothyroxine, is that they are just the synthetic version of T4, but you're not getting any of that T3. So your body still needs to convert it. So if you were in a situation like me and your body wasn't converting your hormone appropriately, then you can have perfect TSH and perfect T4, but still be hypothyroid. That is the typical person who goes to their doctor, gets their blood work, they say it's normal, whether you're on medication or not, but you still feel badly, you're still having all the hypothyroid symptoms. That doesn't mean it's not your thyroid. That means they probably didn't check enough values to make sure that it really isn't something going on that's not just TSH or T4. And now the reason they only test those 2 values are because those are the only 2 values that your medication can actually change regardless of what's going on in your body. So that's the reason they only test those 2 markers. So for me, I would have been in that classic situation. Your blood works great, your thyroid looks normal, then why do I feel awful? And left to kind of deal with that for years, which a lot of the women, by the time they get to me, it's been decades that they've had these issues. And I truly believe it's from lack of investigation. So it's from your body not, let me take this off for a second. It's from your body not just being the typical, you know, textbook thing that they're looking for in a doctor's office. The same goes with hormones. So like, oh no, your estradiol and your progesterone look pretty normal, you're good. But they don't look at your adrenal patterns. They don't look at your pathways. They don't look at your conversions. They're missing pieces of information. So you're getting just very basic recommendations based on some very outdated information, but you're still struggling and suffering. So my only answer to any consistent struggles that you're having is get better testing. If I wouldn't have, I would have struggled for longer and longer. So whether this is your first time getting tested or your 15th, if your body isn't feeling like it's running at its optimum potential, all you need is better testing. So I hope that helps somebody. It is not all in your head. You are not crazy. You are not just full of anxiety. You're not just a new mom. You're not just going through menopause. You're not just overweight. If you don't feel right, it is your body telling you something is off, and proper testing is the way that you can find that answer. So I really hope that helped you. And I share a lot of my personal story with you guys just so you know. I don't say this coming from the point of, you know, I read a book about this and I'm a doctor and I learned it. Everything I teach you and everything that I'm so passionate about bringing to you is because I've had to walk through it. And I walked through it the hard way, and now I'm walking through it the easy way. So I'd like to take you on board and help you walk through it the easy way. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some more videos.